friends, it's Iain from RTO here. Welcome to another week. And if you didn't know that yesterday I was on a live stream with Michael from Ricefield Records and Stevie's Vinyl Cupboard. Basically, it was the usual gang that was on what comes on Thursday. So it's in the community with a link. So if you want to go and watch what we got up to, it's there to watch and go and support Michael and Stevie, who are really good friends of mine now. So anyway, we're going to start off this week with a little bit of glam metal. People call it hair metal. It's not, it's glam metal. Hair metal, just because they had lots of lacquer in their hair. But the band we're going to talk about is probably one of my favourites, and that's Cinderella. I really got what they were doing. They wrote some of the best glam metal rock ballads, and they had that distinctive vocalist in Tom Kiefer, who just that gravelly vocals. They were formed in 1983 in a Philadelphia suburb called Clifton Heights. It was put together by Tom Kiefer and bassist Eric Brittingham. The initial lineup included guitarist Michael Shermick and drummer Tony Destra. They left to form Brittany Fox, them two, and they brought in other people. They only released 4 albums. Now, they're very good albums. I like them all. I'll say that now. I do like all these albums. Unfortunately, Tom's voice had suffered over the years, so, you know, but when you sing like that, it is going to suffer. But they were still an important part of that scene, and they get forgotten about, which is not nice, because they should be, because they did have a great success. So let's have a look at their 4 albums. I mean, we did a then and now way back on them, but this is the first proper full album ranking we're going to be doing. So coming in at number 4. It's the 4th and final album, released in 1994, called Still Climbing. The release was delayed because Tom lost his voice in 1991. So the band at the time were Tom Kiefer, vocals, guitar and piano, Jeff Labar on guitars, Eric Brittingham on the bass, and additional musicians is Kenny Arnonoff on the drums, and we've got Fred Curry doing drums on one track. We got some additional people as other additionals was John Purdell on Hammond and piano, Jay Davidson on tenor and saxophones, Steve Jawanski on trumpets, Rosanna McNara on violins, Gary Corbett on the keyboards. Backing vocals were done by Annette Hardman and Charlene Holloway, Lorna Newman, Carla Benson. So the first track on here is called Bad Attitude Shuffle. This is a great little boogie track. Really bluesy boogie sound. I love this track. Nice solo from Jeff on this. It's a really good track to start the album. It's typical Cinderella. Really gets you hooked in. Then we get All Love. Start again, Ian. All Comes Down. Great track. Love the saxophone on it. It really sounds great. It was a great additional. This is where they sort of added a few different instruments into their repertoire, and it worked. It's a really good track. Just like Talk Is Cheap. Great vocal from Tom. You know, he's lost his voice and he's come back pretty strong. Hard to find the words. A bit of a one of them, you know, I love their ballads, but this one is a little bit bleh. It's not as good as all the others. Blood from a Stone, very listenable. It's It's just that typical sort of glam metal sound, and it's still subs, still climbing. I like this one. My second favourite track on the album. Really strong track. But then we get my favourite, Freewheeling. I love the fast and furious sound on here. Some great ripping riffs. Absolutely killer track. Through the Rain. Very good ballad. Great guitar solo from Jeff. Very strong track. Easy Come Easy Go. Nice little rocker here. Great vocal from Tom. The Road's Still Long. One of the slower ones again. It's got some nice acoustic guitar from on here. Excellent track. And the last track, Hot and Bufford. It's just a standard rock track. Really upbeat. Great way to end the album. This isn't a bad album. I still play this. I still get the same sort of energy from it, just like their first album. I was never ever disappointed with these albums when they come out. So I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 8 out of 10. Okay, coming at number 3, we have the third album released in 1990, and it is Heartbreak Station. It's Tom Kiefer on the vocals, guitar and vocals, Jeff LaBar on guitars, Eric Brittingham on the bass, Fred Curry is the drummer on this. We've got some additionals on here. We've got Bashari Johnson on percussion, Jay Davidson's back on the saxophone, Rod Roddy on the clarinet, Dennis Rouleau on saxophone. We've got the Memphis Horns on here, Ken Hensley from Uriah Heep on tracks 5, 8 and 10. John Paul Jones does the string arrangements. Eric Troyer does backing vocals on one track. So there's lots of good people on here. First track on here is called The More Things Change. My favourite track on here. Probably one of my definitely top 10 Cinderella tracks. It's a great vocal from Tom. I just love the guitar work in this. It's just a fantastic song. Okay, Love's Got Me Doing Time. Great guitar work from Jeff. That wah wah, you know me and wah wah. I just love it. Great little track. Then we get Shelter Me. There's something about Tom's voice. It's just he's very distinctive. Great acoustic guitar. The saxophone sounds good. Great. Then we get Heartbreak Station, a great Cinderella ballad. It's just, I love how he changes, Tom's changes his vocals a little bit. Great song. Okay, Sick for the Cure. Now Ken Hensley plays on this, and you know that Hammond organ is great. Brilliant stuff. I just love this track. One for Rock and Roll, one of my favourite tracks on here. Gentle rock, acoustic, lovely track. Dead Man's Road. Bit of a, I would say it's Cinderella's Wanted Dead or Alive. It's in that sort of cowboy sort of thing. Absolutely brilliant little track. Make Your Own Way, great rocker. Again, just a nice boogie sort of rock track. Electric Love. Again, Tom's voice sounds great. Just a solid track all round. Love Gone Bad. Love the opening riff on this. Absolutely amazing. And a great solo on it as well. You just can't go wrong. Winter Change. Another great ballad from Cinderella. Tom's vocal is absolutely great on here. Some lovely acoustic guitar on here. Probably played by Tom. Great track. Another good album. I love the ballads on here. They're absolutely brilliant. Some of their best ballads that they ever did. And I think this is a great album, and gets sort of missed out because it's like the third album. But I'm going to give this one an RTO ranking of 8.3. Okay, number 2 is the debut from 1986 called Night Songs. It's Tom Kiefer, Jeff LaBar, Eric Britchingham. Now the drums is done by Jody Cortez, although on the sleeve it says Fred Coury, but he doesn't play on this album. Jeff Parrish does the keyboards. We got Barry Bandetta doing lead guitar on Back Home, Nothing for Nothing and Push Push. Tony Mills does the backing vocals, and on backing vocals on Nothing for Nothing and Inside from the Outside is one and only Mr. John Bon Jovi. So the first track on here is my favourite track. Probably, this is definitely top 5. Night Songs. It starts off with the wind and bells, very like Black Sabbath. Remember the start of the song Black Sabbath, that driving riffs. Then you got the unique vocal of Tom. It's an absolute brilliant track. What a track to open up your debut album with. Shake Me does typical glam metal. Great guitar riffs, boogie along, great drumming here. It's just a great fun track. Then Nobody's Fool, which was a big hit for them in America. It's a great Bahawa ballad. I love this one. It's one of their best. Absolutely brilliant track. Then we get Nothing for Nothing. You can hear John Bon Jovi's vocals on this in the background. Just a great track. Once Around the Ride, solid track. The guitar solo on this is absolutely brilliant. Jeff LaBar, great guitar player. Should get more credit than he does. Hell on Wheels, ripping song, sort of that proper glam metal, just full of energy. Somebody Save Me, driving riffs, absolutely killer track again. This track actually reminds me of early Def Leppard as well. You know, them first 2 albums, that sort of sound. Great stuff. In From the Outside, just great rock and roll. John Bon Jovi doing the backing vocals again. Push Push. More driving riffs. And a great bass line from Eric. Really strong. Back Home Again. Great bass line again from Eric. And Tom's excellent vocals. This is a great album. I remember hearing this for the first time when it came out, and I love it. And I still love it today. I know, you know, after all these years, it still is one of them albums I love. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 8.5. So, but my number 1 album, and back in 1988, when this came out, it was one of the most played albums in my collection. I even had to put it on a cassette when I went on holiday so I could listen to it on my Walkman. Yeah, I recorded it on so I can take it on holiday with me. That's how much I love this album, and it's called Long Cold Winter. Tom Kiefer, Jeff LaBar, Eric Britchingham and Fred Coury. Fred Coury again doesn't appear, but guess who does do the drumming on here except on track 5? Cozy Powell. And on track 5 it's Denny Kamasi. It's not bad, is it? It's a funny, innit? You get you. It says on drums Fred Coury, but he doesn't drum on it. So we've got Ricky Crinty on piano, Kirk Shaw and John Webster do some keyboards, and Paulino da Costa percussion. First track, absolutely brilliant. Bad Seamstress Blues Falling. I love this. It's just a bluesy, great harmonica, great drumming from Cozy Powell on this. Absolutely brilliant track. Then we get my favourite track by Cinderella. It's Gypsy Road. Love that opening riff. Tom is just on fire. And you forget that Cozy Powell drums on this. Till It's Cozy Pole. It's got the power of cozy. Absolutely brilliant track. Don't Know What You Got Till It's Gone. One of their great ballads. Tom is the king of the glam metal ballads for me. It's just one of the best of that thing. It's a great track. I love that track. Then we get The Last Mile. It's okay. The best bit about this is the drumming. Okay, it's got that 80s production on it, but when you've got a powerful drummer like Cozy, it still comes through as really meaty. It's got a great guitar solo on this as well. It's a fantastic track. Second Wind comes up. This is a great little rocker, full of energy. Brightened up your day when you used to listen to this. Then we get the title track, Long Cold Winter. It's a bluesy sort of number. Jeff LaBar's guitar work on this is really good. Then we get a track called If You Don't Like It. Love the start of this. It's crisp, drumming from Cozy. Some great guitar riffs here. Again, Tom's vocals absolutely brilliant. Coming Home, big hit for them. They play this on MTV a lot. It's a great ballad again. I just love their ballads. Fire and Ice, one of the great rockers on here. Killer vocal from Tom. Jeff's driving guitars. Eric's brilliant bass line. What a great track. Absolutely on the money for that one. And we got the last track, Take Me Back. Another great track. One of my favourite tracks by Cinderella. Again, it's Eric's bass line that really drives the song. Absolutely brilliant. I love this album. I remember this coming out. I love Gypsy Road. It's just one of my guilty pleasure albums of the 80s. There's so many great tracks on it, and that's why I probably love it. It takes me back to a great time. How old would I have been when I come out? 2021. I think about 21 when this came out, and I was really into this sort of sound then, and it still remains a great album, and I've got a lot of fondness for it. So I'm going to give this an RTO ranking of 9 out of 10. There we go, one of my guilty pleasure bands from the 80s. There's a lot of people I know there that really, they like Cinderella, but they won't admit to it. I think it was the look. You know, there were lots of big hair and makeup and that, but the sound was great. Anyway, that's all for this one. I'll be back soon with a classic album, and we're going to be looking at the number 2 album in the Jazz Fuel Greatest Blues Albums Ever, which came out in June 2023. And this one is another fine blues singer, Howlin' Wolf, and Moan at the Moonlight. Moan at the Moonlight. What am I talking about? So I will see you for that very shortly. Bye for now.